Welcome everybody to another Sleuth Intuition Live. Looks like we have a full house right off the bat. Welcome everybody. We will be talking about the Delphi case. Good to see you, Tech Death. The Rockway. Hey, Dave. Hi, Jessica. Bad Girl. Hey, Copper. Olivia Moon Crystal. Hey, Frank. Good to see you. Condolences, my friend. Glenn. Housewife. TTM. Char. What's up, Sam? Heather. Miss Thang, there you are. Thank you, Susan. Yes, I'm having a wonderful day. Did all the yard work in the backyard. It looks great. I'm going to hang out with the family, have a fire, play some cornhole. As soon as the sun starts to fall. Can't wait. Shout out to Michigan. Indeed. What's up, goat? What's up, Sleuth Intuition? How's your mouth? What you mean? My mouth's good. Thank you, Babs. Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time in the chat today. If you want to call in and join me live, you guys know where the link is. You don't have to, but if you want to. We're going to play one old news report, and then we're going to watch Bill from Delphi Timeline, a video that he did walking the private drive. We went ahead and put that in slow motion. I'm going to talk it out. Ottawa, it's dark. Shout out to Ottawa. Hey, Psych 101, good to see you. Angelina, good to see you. Set apart. You're not hearing anything. That might be a good thing. 4:45. What's up, D? Worldwide Crime. Shout out to the Worldwide Crime channel. Good to see you. Hey, Bogey. I don't know what that means. We have entered the dark portal of the year, and I love it. I don't know. There's really not a main topic. I just really wanted to touch base with everybody and, you know, get a temperature check. What's up, Jacqueline? Jen, good to see you. Hey, what's up, Joe? Good to see you as always. All right. On that note, let's jump right in.
To the Anthony Shots fake social media profile started with another incident reported to police just days after the bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams were discovered.
We're getting steps and steps closer to solving this case. Rich Nye is digging deeper into the transcript now of a police interview with Kagan Klein to learn more about what led up to his arrest. Rich?
Well, again, first of all, it's very important to remind you that Kagan Klein is not charged with the killings of Libby German and Abby Williams. Klein has been held in the Miami County Jail for over a year and a half now on 30 charges of child pornography and exploitation. Investigators say he used the fake Anthony Shots social media profile to communicate with underage girls and receive sexually explicit images. Police interviewed Klein at the time of his arrest in August 2020. They questioned him in that interview about another school-age girl that gave her address to the Anthony Shots profile just after the Delphi murders. Klein knew the girl in Galveston personally. The police told Klein that she comes home from school, sees this guy with a ski mask looking in her bedroom window directly after giving this address to Anthony Schatz. As a matter of fact, that's the incident that started everything else last time. That's how everything started last time, was that incident. And Kagan.
Okay. Now, please explain to me how this is not connected. To me, this is the same MO. I mean, Kagan Klein and this Richard Allen person, they got to be connected, right? You never thought we would change directions, switch gears. It's like they knew it was this person the entire time. They just were waiting to tie it all together, right? Isn't that? It's a news guy. KK stole pics. Oh yeah, it's true. Yeah, Jessica, he may already have accomplished that. I'm not sure. Ruckus. Hey, Kristen. Good to see you. What's up, Mike? Says, I'll just say it, laugh out loud. Either Richard Allen played a very exceptional cat and mouse with law enforcement, or law enforcement dropped the ball. RA is innocent and making a murderer. 2 is in progress. Nah, I wouldn't go that far. Great special, though, on Netflix. Bossy, hello, says, agreed. Multiple signatures can mean multiple people or persons, in my opinion. Well, the most recent news article states the type of charges that Richard Allen is facing in Indiana means that he didn't have to be, the person committing the murders. He just had to have enough of an equal role, to receive equal charge. So I posted that on my community page. It was an interesting read.
Replied, that's crazy. So here's the timeline and locations in north central Indiana. The bodies of Libby German and Abby Williams were discovered near a trail in Delphi in Carroll County on February 14, 2017. 6 days later, on February 20th, is that incident in Galveston in Cass County, where the girl that Klein knew had given her address to the Anthony Schatz profile. She saw a man in a ski mask looking in her bedroom window. And then on February 25th, police searched the home in Peru in Miami County, where Klein lived with his father. They found over 100 photos and videos of underage girls on several electronic devices. Police say the
That's a good question, Goat. Let's see. Goat Dog asks, at Sleuth Intuition, this incident is the incident that KK said that he knew was that he was fucked. Yes, in the affidavit it says that he knew he was effed and that he should have left. So let's talk about that. Why did he feel that he was fucked? Why did he feel like he should have packed? Or no, I think he stated that he did pack an extra bag. Okay, so why was it that he knew he was connected to this crime somehow? And almost similar to Logan, Logan being connected to the crime because it happened on his property, he freaked out also. He's like, damn, I'm connected to this crime. They're going to find out I was out drinking. It's going to make me a habitual offender. I could spend 2 to 3, maybe more, maybe 5 years in prison for this. I need to come up with an alibi. What if Kagan Klein is like, oh man, I'm connected to this crime. I think I know this guy, this crazy guy, Richard Allen, is the other guy that's been using the Anthony Schatz profile. For all we know, he could be afraid of this man as well.
Anthony Schatz profile communicated with Libby German hours before her death. Police questioned Klein intensely about anyone else who may have had access to his devices, especially his father. Jerry Anthony Klein goes by Tony and has a criminal history that includes convictions of sexual harassment, battery, and theft. But Indiana State Police will not tell us at this point whether they have questioned Tony Klein about the Delphi murders.
All right. Now, the video that we're watching now was sent over to us by Bill from YouTube channel Delphi Timeline. Definitely go check out that YouTube channel. He's basically taken all of the media coverage of the case from the beginning up until basically probably till today, and it's completely updated and archived. But he actually took a trip out to Delphi very recently, and from what I understand, was the only person to ever go down and just completely just walk the private drive. So what I did is I took the video he sent me of that walk and I slowed it down. And we're just going to hang out and talk while we watch this, because I'm assuming this, if Richard Allen's our guy, he was right down here. And why was he down here? The private drive also leads in the direction of his home. Hey, Amanda. Amanda says 2 predators after the same set of 2 girls on the same day, and one gets to them before the other, and neither knows one another. No way, right? And also the timing of the search in the Wabash River. Reports of Kagan. I mean, there's a lot of things that could change in order to make all this possible. A lot of the sources that Murder Sheets podcast is bringing forward could all be bullshit, may not play a part. That could be a case. As of right now, I tend to think that they're legit. So I think Kagan plays a huge part in all of this. Worldwide Crime says, in my opinion, Richard Allen is probably one of the users of the Anthony Shots account, quite possibly the guy in the ski mask incident. Just my opinion. Yeah, that could be 100% accurate. I mean, he's got all this paranoid energy. He's completely changed since the crime. I mean, he may not be some type of serial killer. He could have been having some kind of breakdown, and yeah, I mean, I guess I really can't say. But yeah, why not? Just because he doesn't have a criminal record? I mean, Kagan Klein didn't have a criminal record. You got the Hannah Rostel account and communicating with Kagan's version of the Hannah Rostel, which was Emily Ann 45, right? That's what they do. They act like these 13, 14-year-old girls, and then once they gain their confidence, they send them over to Big Brother Kagan over here. Glenn says, I still think he's a lone wolf because I can't accept he had the nerve working at CVS and having family, friends, and the same time hanging with KK and Sheriff's pedo murder side with him. Yeah, I don't know if they were sharing it. In the interview transcript of Kagan Klein, law enforcement asked him, hey, is it possible that you just mentioned, to somebody, like, hey, I'm supposed to meet these girls here at the High Bridge. Was it as easy as that? Kagan said no. But maybe he knew if he said yes, Well, then he has to explain who this person is. Maybe that means more charges for him. Anna says, I never fully understood the comment about the ski mask incident. That's what caused the trouble last time. That's what started it all last time. They're referring to the Anthony Shots profile. Without the ski mask incident, they had no clue who Anthony Shots was. The person who reported the incident said, hey, I was talking to the Anthony Shots profile, gave him my address, and guess what? They were talking to Libby as well around the time she passed away. Hey, Tina. Tina says, people are speculating he got caught on DNA. How did they not take his DNA years ago when he came forward? Seems nuts if true. Yeah, I was having a debate in my comment section on one of my videos. So the rumor has it Richard Allen came forward as a witness, saying, hey, yeah, I was on the trail. I didn't really see anything. Or maybe he said, hey, yeah, I saw this. And it was extremely misleading. And there's another rumor that it was Tobe Lesenby that spoke with him. So, I mean, this could be really bad. This could really have a huge impact on, let's say, a sheriff election if, let's say, Tobe interviewed this guy and didn't even ask him for his DNA. Imagine that. We talked to another person who was interviewed on that trail, and he said, yeah, they asked me for my DNA, and I gave it to them. So I'm just saying, if somebody's like, yeah, I was there, and I was there during that time, but I'm not going to give you my DNA. Well, in my opinion, I'm going to keep those guys on the top of my list. Like, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you just quickly give me a DNA swab? Like, well, what's the problem? And I know in America, we have the right, to say no. But we also have the right to be suspicious of people's choices, at any given moment. So, yeah, you can say no, but I can still be suspicious of that. It doesn't mean like, oh, yeah, it's his right. I better not even pay attention to it. Blinders on. No. So I could totally see Richard Allen speaking to law enforcement and them not, for whatever reason, maybe he persuaded them or was convincing enough. They didn't even ask. They're like, oh, okay. You're just like everybody else. You're obviously not the guy in this video. Sensei Wackadoodle says, if Richard Allen isn't the murderer, but is connected and charged, Kagan is questioned, but not charged on connection with the murders. Does that mean there's another suspect who's not been arrested yet? Yeah, I mean, it's very possible. Think about it. If Richard Allen acted alone, why keep anything sealed? He's in custody. What would be the other reason for keeping the probable cause sealed? Yeah, they're obviously trying to buy time. D. Ashley says, wasn't the ski mask guy tall and thin No, D. The tall and thin guy was reported on an earlier incident with the ski mask. There was no details given as far as height or description of the person in this specific ski mask incident. You're getting them confused. Anna says, law enforcement has never been secure in the DNA, even saying this year that they don't know if the DNA belongs to the killer. Maybe it does not. Well, you got to, think about it. Why, let's say they run Richard Allen's DNA and there's a match. I mean, of course, they don't know if that's the killer's DNA, but you got a lot of explaining to do is why your DNA is on the victim's bodies. You know. So yeah, they don't know if it belongs to the killer, but whoever this DNA belongs to, they got a lot of explaining to do because they don't know who it is. They ran DNA on all the people that those girls were around. They were hanging out with all kinds of young people all weekend, and all those people were DNA tested. So if somebody came forward and said, "Yeah, I was on the trail. I was on the trail at that time when the girls were killed. Yes, I was there, but I was with such and such, and nothing much was going on." If law enforcement didn't say, "Oh, okay, well, just because, would you go ahead and consent to a DNA sample?" Anybody would be like, "Well, sure, yeah, why not?" I know I would. And I know there's some people, conspiracy theorists like Michael Catt, who denied it. But Michael Catt was never on the trail. He said, "I'm not giving you my DNA." And I know people who are like that, they're conspiracy theorists and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what you're going to do with my DNA." But Michael Catt was not confirmed to be on the trail. So if Richard Allen came forward and said, "Yeah, I was on the trail when this happened, but hey, I was with this person the whole time." And this person's like, "Yeah." Well, if law enforcement didn't say, "Okay, well, can we go ahead and get a DNA sample, just so we can kind of clear you guys off the list?" Now, if those people said no, I mean, for me, that's suspicion. Is it their right? Yes. But am I suspicious? Yes. Dave says, "I think the ski mask thing is separate. I don't know. I think it fits with the whole nervous energy of it all. That's just my gut, though." Bossy says, "Plus, he wanted to leave after the first trip to Vegas, per the transcripts." Yeah, he did want to leave. And why did they go to Vegas anyway? I don't know. For all we know, this guy went with them. I mean, I don't know. Yes, Nadia, he does look like the guy. 100%. Bossy says, "I still think TK is the ski mask guy." Imagine how messed up that would be. But also the ski mask thing could maybe be a prank. Maybe it's an older brother, friend. Who knows? Maybe it's not even related. But my gut is telling me yes. It's very related. Brother D says, "Why they never asked Kagan about Richard Allen?" It's 2019 press conference when they released. Dave says, "In my opinion, Richard Allen is BG." Yep, I really think he is. Question is, did he act alone? Yep, that's 100% correct, Jessica. That's a scary thought, Rockaway, but I don't think that's the case. I think they've had their eye on him since the 2019 presser. I think that's who they're talking to. I think they're talking directly to him. And it's almost like they're letting everybody that knows that it's him. It's almost like they're letting them know as well. Like, we know who it is. Once we find a connection, you're just going to go down with him, if there is one to be found. Well said, Mike. Mike says today, I'm not going to wait for someone to remind me to, if I'm enjoying the stream, hit that like button. I like Mike. Brother D, they knew about Richard Allen since 2019. I think he's alluding to the 2019 presser, assuming, and I think it's safe to assume that they knew about him for some reason, right? He fits that whole people are going to be shocked. You know, what are those closest to you going to think? Yep. As always, Kristen, I hope everything's well. Yep, we're just getting started. Brother D says, I disagree. The 2019 press conference, they knew who he was. In fact, why Doug Carter kept saying he's watching. Yeah, I mean, it fits perfectly. And it's almost like some kind of weird strategy to use the other sketch, you know? It's almost like we knew that maybe he shaved all his facial hair off. Some criminals will do that. They'll shave all their facial hair off and then they'll hide until they grow it back. I don't know if you guys know much about the Unabomber, but apparently he used to do that a lot. Before all his crimes, he would shave his beard and then he would go complete, you know, his terroristic act and then hide out in the woods and allow for a full beard to grow back. And then he would kind of start walking around his property again because he lived out in the middle of nowhere. So, I mean, think about it. That's what criminals do. They shave their hair off, commit the crime, and then when they put the sketch out, they're looking for somebody with shaved hair. Well, John Doe over here, you know he had long hair. You know, it can't be him. Well, you haven't seen him for 3 months. Next time you see him, he's got long hair again. It's because he's been hiding out, laying low. Like Pony Boy. You guys know about Pony Boy, right? Come on now. Do it for Johnny. Kristen says, I think the search could be related to Richard Allen. Perhaps he placed evidence there to make it appear as the Kleins were more involved. Just a thought. That's interesting. Trying to frame him. Well, there was a piece of information in Keegan Klein's transcript, and I put a note on there, and it made it seem as if they could find this device. There was a device that they did not have. You know, they were searching for information on this device. And I think if they could find that device, they could find the GPS information, the IP information. And maybe that's what they found. You know, I even noted right underneath it, it said, find this device, find the killer. It was about maybe a live stream as well. I did about a month ago. So that makes me think that maybe they found that device, you know? Maybe somehow they were able to, maybe it was a burner phone. Maybe for whatever reason, once they pulled the information off, they couldn't really attach the information to anybody, but it could have GPS information saying, okay, the person who purchased this was right here at this time, right here at that time, purchased it from maybe this Walmart or this CVS. Oh, well, guess what? Guess who works at that CVS? You know, something along those lines. Anna says that right there is the second hill to go down. Yeah, anywhere right here that you see on Bill's video, if you just kind of veer off to the right, you start heading towards the freeway. No, Jen, we don't, unfortunately. Could have done it for money, yeah. I mean, this guy could be some scary killer for all we know. We have no clue about this guy. He's not on Facebook or anything, you know? Kristen says there are so many things that could connect this case. We will have to see what led them to him. Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so curious to know. There's rumors of a neighbor um, basically witnessing him stealing something directly out of his garage. But the same person who reported him committing that felony, which would have ultimately led to a DNA test, ultimately saying, hey, he is the killer, also said that he came forward early on as a witness. So it's hard to believe that Richard Allen came forward early on as a witness and wasn't asked for a DNA swab. I'm not saying he has to give one, but the fact that he's saying, yes, I was there at this time, but I'm not giving you a DNA swab. I mean, he would have been right at the top of my list. Yeah, Jen. And I think that's a conversation we can save when the facts come out, because I think the court proceedings will prove exactly what you're saying. And I think that Mike Patty believes that as well. He was extremely hostile with the media when he answered that question. And we all know why. He's like, yeah, it is a small town. What do you think? Like, yeah, of course somebody knew. And I think that angers him because they're kind of, I guess, guilty after the fact at that point. Mike says, is the community safe or are there players still at large? Hard to say with the unheard of sealing. Yeah. Probable cause document has been completely sealed. In my opinion, it's temporary. It was all by strategy. On the 22nd, it'll be released and we'll know. And by then, hopefully, the reason that they wanted to keep it sealed, whatever that purpose was, hopefully it served its purpose and maybe they made another arrest or maybe they were just trying to successfully get him out of Carroll County. So there might be some things that we don't know. Hopefully on the 22nd we will. And if anybody's at risk of blowing this case, it's them by violating this man's rights. But they still have plenty of time to get it correct, so hopefully they do. And they don't let anything screw this up. Bad Girl says KK and RA are connected in some way. Brother D says they got all the energy for Tony Klein that's innocent, but simping for Richard Allen's wife. She knew it was him. I don't know. I mean, maybe Tony Klein's not so innocent. Remember, Kagan put himself at the crime scene in a Jeep. So, for all of you that know, Richard Allen lived in Mexico, Indiana, which is right near Peru. I mean, it's just right there. It's like a suburb. I guess it's not a suburb, but it's a stone's throw. So if you live in Mexico, you're most likely working in Peru, Indiana. And we all know who lives in Peru. Kagan Klein and Tony Klein. Dave says, also wonder if KK overheard something in jail and relayed it to law enforcement. I think he knew. You know, the whole reason that the reason that Kagan Klein is in prison right now is because of the Delphi case. The reason that they searched his property was because the ski mask incident. And the person who was talking to Anthony Schatz was talking to Libby the day that she went missing. Who created the Anthony Schatz account? Kagan Klein. So when he came back from Vegas, they raided his house. They didn't raid him because they did a sting and they found out he was a CSAM creator or whatever. No, they raided him specifically because of information that they discovered in regards to the Delphi case. So Kagan Klein is in prison because of the Delphi case. So regardless of what they find, he's connected to this no matter what. Now, why is the question, and how? Holly Southern Style says, so I just came in. Who took this video and went by the way? Just curious. Oh, that was Bill. That was Big Bill from Delphi Timeline. He's created a YouTube channel archiving all media relating to the Delphi case. Go check it out. Maybe karma is a bitch. Kristen says, we don't know. He could have been tipped in. He also could have been tipped in by his family. We don't know these details yet. Yep. And whoever tipped him in, I just want to say it right now. Thank you. Whoever you are, whether it's a wife, whether it's Keegan Kline, whoever, if he's the killer of those girls and you tipped him in, thank you so much. Holly says, I think KK is just the marketer with this connections. I believe that they probably go to the Reno chasing those car shows. I'm okay with speculation, but was the ski mask incident victim the one who introduced Libby to the profile? Beach Fairy, that I don't know, but definitely related to that person. 100%. Same family and everything. My Wrench, hello. Perhaps KK cousin may be involved. Was he not arrested earlier? Yes, completely unrelated charges. Only thing connecting him to the crime is Keegan Kline, apparently. And we don't even know if Kagan's connected at this point, but was attached to a Wi-Fi that needed a code to be accessed at that person's home right around the time of the killings. Jenna says, BG seemed too far away to communicate to anyone on the bridge, in my opinion. Do you think BG was wired with a mic? No. Anna says, I can't imagine the FBI didn't immediately know the kind of operation that was Anthony Shots. That's why I don't think the ski mask incident is quite what it was said. We don't want to give anybody too much credit. Yeah, it's a good question, Return. Kristen behind the crime door says, remember when Tobe said he recognized the voice? Yeah, I remember him saying that. And it's probably because he was at that damn CVS. He's like, man, I just can't figure it out. Like, it's so familiar. I've heard that voice before. Wow. That's so creepy. Good point, Kristen. Yeah, there was mention of a man in black. Not much to go on there, though, honestly. The Rockaway says, and that is the exact reason the probable cause affidavit is sealed, to protect the bumbling cops that let Richard Allen run free for 5 years. Yeah, because, I mean, the election is what, tomorrow? Tomorrow or in a day or two? So, I mean, most people go out and vote, right that date, the day of or the day before. So if they can keep that information locked up and it doesn't embarrass the sheriff, yeah, I can totally see that happening. Yeah, Dave, and from my understanding, I think that's what happened. Dave said if they have DNA, still might be enough. However, if they found DNA at Richard Allen's house of both his DNA and one of the girl's DNA, solves the problem. Yeah, and when I hear Doug Carter say the judge signed the probable cause, right? To me, that's what he's talking about. Like we have enough. We just don't want to jump the gun. Maybe there's somebody else involved. Maybe there's not. Like, give us a damn chance to figure it out. Like, give us a chance, at least. What's up, Bill? Hey, give me a call. I hope not. Yeah, it could have been like some kind of professional favor, to the sheriff's department. I don't know. Bossy says Keegan just doesn't seem like he'd automatically know to use a Dropbox. Well, the thing is he was really into music, Bossy, and that's what Dropbox was for. That's what I know it to be. I mean, I'm sure it's not what it's officially designed for, but when it comes to musicians, Dropbox was used pretty much around that time by everybody. It's an easy way to send a huge file. You can't send that kind of stuff through your regular email. It just won't let you. So I think Kagan would have had access to that. So if he was communicating with somebody and they were like, well, I'll send it to your Dropbox. He's like, okay, yeah, I can do that. For all we know, Richard Allen could be a person he's communicating through his Dropbox. Well, bye. I mean, I don't remember making you come here. Brother D. Yep. Maybe even the trophies, Kristen. Yeah, if he's got both their DNA mixed with his DNA, I mean, that's kind of a slam dunk if you think about it. Yeah, I think the elections are here in a day or two to be confirmed. Yep, I'm afraid of that as well. It's just a fear. I still have confidence in them. It's okay to think one way and then have fears, that are contradicting. Pet hair. Yeah, Anna. Could be. There was talks of a human element and a scientific element, and then when the Ron Logan affidavit came out, we knew that it was animal hair and fibers. So maybe they dug up his cat. Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he was down there just following the creek, getting out of there. Jessica Riley says somebody went into the witness protection. Yeah, it's very possible. They had the U.S. Marshals, and Doug Carter made a strange comment about the reward. So, I mean, if somebody's expecting that reward, so it could have just been as simple as a great tip and somebody finally coming forward. So, I want to applaud that person if that's the case. We're going to hang out for another 10 minutes, guys, and then we're out of here. So if there's anything you want to say, call in or join me live. You're more than welcome. Grunge Truck says, and they wanted the main person. I think they got him. Let's hope he cooperates. Hey, Purdue. They won't charge KK until after his CSAM trial. I could see that. Yeah, today is the day says this is complex per Doug Carter. He did say that. Very complex. Burst and said a lot of ins and outs. Can't hear you, Bill. Bill, you there? I can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you. Today is the day says, I believe there's definitely witnesses. Yeah, imagine if they can go now to the witness and say, hey, is this the guy you saw? You know, maybe put him in a lineup of like another 20 other people and be like, hey, did you see this guy? And well, they're like, wow, yeah, that's him. That'd be powerful for the courtroom. Bill, can't hear you, buddy. Getting no audio from you. Says you're muted. Ruckus says the PCA being sealed, while very uncommon, can happen for any number of legitimate reasons in the district attorney prosecutor view of relevancy to the case. Yeah. I mean, I find it strange because we had Robert Ives who said, oh, you know, I'm following Indiana State Police, their lead, and we're going to keep this information, you know, sealed. Then now you got ISP and Doug Carter saying, "Oh, well, we're going to respect um, the decision of the prosecutor." So, I mean, which is it? I don't know anything about that. Bill, hello, hello. Can't hear you, buddy. Nothing. It says your mic's muted. Having some technical difficulties with Bill here. Yeah, I mean, they would have to ask him for DNA, right? And why wouldn't you give it? It would be highly suspicious. I mean, you have the right to deny it, but I mean, that would definitely put you on my radar. All right, guys, we're at the 5-minute mark. Let's go ahead and start closing her out. Yeah, how disgusting is that? I wonder if he was part of the search. I haven't seen anything to back that up, but I wouldn't doubt it if he was. I mean, he lives right there. He could have easily participated. Anna says, I think the DNA they have connects him directly, but it comes from a different source. His pet's hair, the girl's DNA found at his home. Yeah, it's very possible. Old-fashioned police work. Brett Mitchell, thank you. Shout out to Houston, Texas. Thanks, Brett. I appreciate that. The Rockway says, needed the cooperation to make the case against Allen. And I could have swore, Angela, I heard something about voyeurism when they originally arrested him. I want to thank everybody for hanging out today, participating in the chat. And if you are watching this as a replay, feel free to leave a comment, and I will definitely follow up. Thank you, Sensei. I appreciate that.